Good morning. Thank you for joining us. This is our monthly Salesforce tips and tricks webinar. This is Corey Babka from the Marks Group. My email address, just so we have it right up front, is Corey, C-O-R-E-Y, at marksgroup.net. Just doing our monthly tips and tricks that we get from our website here. For instance, I'm going to just go through these, what we've got. We're going to go through lightning form changes, a couple other things from custom buttons this morning. We're going to go through that. So what I'm looking at here is just my Salesforce. I'm actually going to go into Classic. Apologize for that. Live video. This is what happens. So I'm going to go to Classic just for right now, just to show where we are and kind of roll through this. So I've got 3 different tips to go through today. One is a custom button, custom activity button. But this is for Classic only, is what I can do, right? I've also got some Lightning form changes. We're starting to dig a little bit more into customizing Lightning pages. And then I'm also going to go into like a LinkedIn search, a custom button, but this is going to be Classic or Lightning. It's going to be for both, okay? And I'll show you how we do that, and we'll kind of roll through each one, right? So first things first, what I want to do is why don't we just start with the, we'll just start with Classic since I'm in Classic right now. We're going to go through the custom activity button. What I did here was I wanted to put into, let me just see if I can find a lead here and see if I've got it, what I did. There it is, my company follow-up is what I did. So for instance, what I'm going to end up doing is I created a custom button that allows me to send to a new task. That's one thing here. I can actually do a company follow-up, which obviously puts in the company name right away, and then follow-up is the default task. So my subject is always filled in. I like to do that. I like to have that already set up as it's due to my sync with Outlook, so on and so forth. Sometimes my tasks come over, and I can't just have follow-up. I want to have the actual company name in the subject line as well, so I do it this way. All right. I used to do it manually, and then I was like, you know what, there's got to be an easier way, so I did this. This is what I did. Now, it can only work in Classic solely because, let's see, if I go to ABC, I think I did it over here too. My ABC company, my test record that I always have. I did not do it here, so we can recreate it. We'll do that for today. So the item essentially is this. I can't create custom buttons because these custom buttons are not on the account record. They're actually on the activity record is where they are. Okay, so it's not accounts, contacts versus opportunities. It's truly like if I go to Rich's record here, it's the same thing. See, I have company follow-up because I added it here, right? It's just that idea that this actually sits on the activity. Okay, that's where we're at. So when we go to setup and we go to activities, that's what we're going to end up doing. It's going to be this custom button in here, or activity buttons, right? Actually, I'm going to do it in task buttons, links, and actions. But the bottom line is I can't do this in Lightning. Not sure if there's an easier way or if I'm just missing something, but I couldn't find my way around it. And as I understand it, you can't do it yet in the Lightning edition. You can't add custom buttons to the activity pane because the activities sit in kind of a different spot, right? Okay, so first things first, I'm going to do my activities here, what I did, and then I'm going to do task buttons, links, and actions. Okay, now in here, what we end up with is just making sure my attendees are here and seeing this. What I've got is this company follow-up button is what I did. So basically what I would always just click a new button is what I'll do. I would do a new button or link, and you get to this page here, and then you put in a whole bunch of stuff like what's your label, what's the name. It's more important to put in this, okay? And what I'm going to show you what I have I mean, this is what the code is, right? I've got it on my tip, so you can paste it in, but it's this, right? And so you can see this is what it is everything after this, but in here, we've got a little bit of a merge with the contact ID. We've got a little bit of the account name, okay, and then the follow-up and the contact ID, right? So that's the URL that we're doing here. We're going to do this here. I'm going to put this up. This is just fine the way it is, but we're going to go, and this is what it looks like when I'm done. You've got the company name, the follow-up. I've got a task here. I've got it as a list button, okay? Display checkboxes, you can do the same thing. Display in an existing window. This is kind of important to me because you can have it pop out if you want, but I don't want to do that in this case. I just want it to go to the same window, make it look like it was all seamless to the user, okay? It is a task, insert merge field. This is the type of thing here that if I do this, it's giving me what are the codes that we're doing, right? Account name, right? And then away we go. Check the syntax if you want, and then, or you have to, and then that's where we are, okay? So now, once we do that, it will prompt you, if I'm doing a new one, it's gonna prompt you, where do you add the button, okay? And right away, you know, it's gonna, well, no, what it's gonna do, I'm sorry, it's not gonna tell you where, it's gonna pop up in a prompt and say, before you can see this button, you need to add it to the layout of the page. So that's what I'm gonna do, right? I need to go to my layout page, so if I go account, I go to page layouts, and there's my main layout. From here, you know, you would want, it's again, it's not in here because it's not a button at the top of the record. Believe it or not, it's actually within the actual record itself in the activity section. It's in the related list, right? So if I scroll down to the related list area, this is where I'm going to do this. And then I have my button area. This is what we're used to as well as, you know, how do I add columns, things like that. But in here, I can do my new buttons. Now, the thing is I don't know why, oh, wait, related list properties, contacts, hold on. We're in the wrong one. Sorry, I was in the contact one. Activity history, right, or open activities. So I do the buttons. That's what I wanted. So here, what I do, the standard buttons are there. This is how we also can remove what we don't want if you don't want to ever use appointments or new tasks. If I want, I can move this over here and get rid of this if I only want the one, okay? But I'm going to leave them both out there for right now, okay? And then what we do, we say okay. We save it. And now, on the account record, I should have a company follow-up. And there it is, ABC company follow-up. Done. Now you can do that with a few different things. Like you could create custom buttons if you wanted to for different subject lines. You know, if it was just, you know, log a sales call and you wanted to say sales call dash the account name, whatever you're doing to make your users make it a little bit easier, that's the best way in my world to get this done. Okay? And that would be tip number one. So we're about a third of the way in, so this is working well. Let's go now. What I want to do is do a LinkedIn search one. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing, but this time we're going to do it in the Lightning edition. Okay, just to show you what it does. I've actually already built it. Like if I go to Christy here, I have a LinkedIn search button right here that pops open a new window, allows me to search for her, and there she is, and then I can do this, and away we go, right? So I'm going to show you how to make this work, but again, we're going to do it in the Lightning edition. So I'm going to switch, click my name, switch to Lightning, go here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the same contact area. There's that link, that record we were just in, and as you can see, there's a LinkedIn search at the top now. Now this is a little bit weirder than what we're going to end up doing in here in the buttons, and so we'll get there, but there's a little extra piece that we kind of have to do. So first things first, going to go to setup. Okay, I could do it that way. Shoot, I'm not following my instructions. My own instructions, I tell you to do this. Let's go back to Christie's page, and I go to boom, edit page. Okay, and I didn't do that right either. I apologize. It's not edit page. We're going to do that next month. Okay, actually in January. We're skipping this month's webinars that are coming up, where our newsletter is going to come out this week. The newest tips that I just did are posted. They do a lot more with Lightning customizations if you want to check those out. We're going to do the video webinar, the follow-up webinar for those, just taking the month of December off. We're going to do that in January. Okay, so I'm going to go here and do edit object. Okay. Now I could have done this the same way. I could have gone to setup and go to the object manager and find contacts and all that. But we're going to start in here. So it's a similar idea, buttons, links, and actions. Okay. This one is at the contact record because it's at the top. It's not in the related items, right? Like our related items, you notice that I don't have my custom button anymore, but my related items, you know, like my new over here, this is a little bit different here, right? So we're doing this button is actually at the top of the contact record, so therefore it is within the contact object that we need to do this custom button, okay? So we do it here, and what happens is we end up doing a new button or link, just like we did before, and it looks just like this. Same thing that we were doing. The difference here is that we're going to go to LinkedIn search. I'm going to show you what it looks like. So here is everything there. It's the same idea. We've got a search string, and you can see I've got the entire URL here because we're going to a new window, and you can see here's my merge value. And what this does is it's the way that LinkedIn does its searches, right? You can do this for Google, you can just do it for Yahoo, Bing, whatever you're using, Google Maps, you can do the same thing. And you've got this contact name that is the merge field that's coming from here. And based on this, we do a search string. Because if you notice, if I go to LinkedIn now, right, and I just do a search for me, if I can spell my name right. If I do this, see the here? Okay, we've got, this is the string, so that Corey Babka is right there, and that's space you don't have to worry about. It will do that for you. But that's what our code is doing, okay? And by doing that, I've got the same idea down here, and that's your URL, okay? So I save that, and then I make it, and it looks like this. Now, the one thing that we can do, right, is, so we do this new button, we put in the code, all that's kind of there, right? Now all we have to do is add it to the page. However, the main difference is once I've got it saved and it looks like this, where I can go here, I can actually do the window open properties. If you noticed when I did that before, it was very small, right? Actually, this one does a full tab. In Classic, it just does a weird little window. So what I can do is make it wider if I want, and I can do width in pixels, and I could say 800 wide, okay? This is where your options are, like, do I want to get rid of the menu bar? Do I want to, you know, how do I want to do things with, I've got scroll bars, those are by default, but do I want to get rid of the address bar? No. Do I want to show the toolbars? Do I want to have it as a pop-up window? You can use your imagination where that could become very, very helpful. Intranet pages, where you don't want the people to see the address, unless they do a little finagling, things like that. But that's what this allows you to do here. And I can save that now. It's 800 by 600. Okay. All right. So in Classic Edition, you would only all you have to do is add it like the other custom buttons. You edit the layout like we were doing earlier, and then you just kind of drag your buttons into the right spot. Okay. The reason I'm focusing here on Lightning is because I got really, really confused as to how to do this. Okay. It's kind of a different area of how you do these things and what buttons you do and all that kind of stuff. So what happens is I had to just more so expose the buttons. So let's just go here, and we're going to edit layout. We're in this page again. I'm going to edit this page. And so in my header, by default, see how it says visible action buttons? Okay? This is what I had to change. By default, it's usually like 3. Okay, and if I save this and I go back, you're going to see that I only got like 3 buttons, right? And that's generally the new ones. Now, if you click into here, we get the others, right? But what I may want to do is expose those. So I'm going to do edit layout, edit page, click in the top header area, and I say I want like 10. I mean, I don't have 10, but that's what it would be. Okay. I change that number, and then we save it. You may, if this is the first customization you've done to a Lightning page, you may have to activate it as well. It will prompt you to do so, and then you have to make it the org default. But by doing this here, now I've got my LinkedIn search. There's Christy. I click on this LinkedIn search. It will say we'd like to open it. Because of your browser settings, we need your permission. I say open, and now here's my search there. Okay. I actually think this is her. I think she got married and changed her last name. or we've got this, right? We don't know which one it is. Okay. Now I'm doing it that way. You know, I can go back to another lead if I want. I could go to a contact of, here's Rich. I could do this LinkedIn search. And see what I do here is once I find Rich, okay, I can take his ID number, which is right there. It's this whole thing, right? And I can paste that in to my LinkedIn area, which is this, my LinkedIn ID. I save that. Because I've got another area that allows me to do things, right? I should have my LinkedIn link. I'm trying to think where I have it now. Because I do have I had a custom button as well that allowed me to do the LinkedIn. And so that's where, unless, did I do it? Hold on, that might be my other tip. That's my LinkedIn search. Since my lightning form changes. Okay, yeah, I should have a button somewhere that allows me to do this as well. Let's go into Classic just for the heck of it, just to see. Starting to lose my mind now. So you'll go to Rich's record. I should have my LinkedIn. There's my custom link. That's what I did there. I don't have it as a button, but I do this and I click this LinkedIn page and it copies in my ID that I copied, and so therefore I have it right away and I can see what's going on with him. It takes this, customizes it, adds it in there. See, Google search is the same thing. I can do this and it searches for Rich. So I've done a bunch of these, but if I want to make them buttons because I don't like the links down here, you can do them up there and that's fine. Maybe a LinkedIn button up top would be nice as opposed to the LinkedIn search, or having them both there, that'd be fine as well. Okay. All right, so let's go back into Lightning Experience for one final tip. And this is going to be the lightning changes, okay? And like I said, this is going to be a little bit lighter because we're doing more and more every month to actually make the page look the way I want it to look, okay? I'm trying to get a lot better about that. I'm trying to make my forms a lot more usable. I do keep going back to Classic here and there, but I swear I'm trying. I really am trying to get it going. And now that you can customize the page a little bit more, it's making more sense, right? So let's go to ABC Company. Okay, and the main thing is we're going to edit this page. You can see that I've already got my quick links there, which you probably don't have. I've also changed my header record. Those are the 2 tips for next month. Okay, so there's a couple tips there. Right? We'll go over those in January, but the newsletter, like I said, if you sign up, you will get those as well. If you have any problems getting those links or how to get to the newsletter, just drop me an email. I can help you out. Again, my email is Corey, C-O-R-E-Y, at marksgroup.net, marksgroup.net. Okay? So we've got our ABC company record, and in mine, I did it a little bit more as like a lead form is what I did. I wanted to change things around there. On the tip, I'm customizing the lead, but we're going to do the same thing here, okay? And the main thing that I didn't like, okay, was essentially, I'm going to show you. So we go to Edit, Edit Page. And what was driving me nuts for a long time was really, I'm going to remove this for now, right? It was this. It was this main area, okay? It wasn't even the detail section. It was actually the main area where my related was by default the first. So what happens is you had the related was default, and then these were like this. And then there was another tab in here, like, I don't know what it was. It might have been like, oh, it was the news is what was in here, right? So I would have, if I took into this, I go into here, I want to get rid of news, I'm going to add a tab, but I don't want to do that. I want to instead see if I can drag that into here. No, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm going to try and drag the news in here. No, I don't want to do that either. I want to add a tab. Hold on. We'll add the tab here, go to the details area, and then I'm going to add the component, and then I can rename it though if I want. So it's details. We change this around, we call it news, and then done, and now we've got related details news. This is how your Lightning Edition pretty much is set up. But what I don't like is sometimes the news is first. And it looks like, and the default tab is news, and you save this, and let me just show you what it looks like. And this is what you get when you have Lightning Edition. Now, personally, this was scary to me because I don't like this. What I need to see is this. I need to see all that information up top. My related list is nice, but I don't want that. Sometimes the way we would have it is we would do, if I went back to the defaults, I actually think the news is third, like this, but the related is the default. So it goes detailed, but related always shows up. So what I can do here is I can really change this around and say I want my details to be first. I don't want my news anymore. Maybe we want to do something else as well, and I can put other things in, like you know, highlight. Well, the highlights panel is this up top. You've got your list view of things. You can play with what all these items are, but this is what we're looking at. Okay, that's where it gets a little bit confusing, right? Whereas I have related. Here's this. I can click in here and change my things again, and I can add related. This is duplicates. If I don't want that, I don't have to, right? Here's all my related items, but I can definitely change this around, and all you have to do is hit save, okay? What is a little bit weird is when I do save this, I've already activated, so it's fine, but what you can do is when you save it the first time, it prompts you to activate this, okay? And what it will do is it will say, what do you want to do for the organization? And I can say, oh, I want this to be my app default, okay? So what I'll do is I'll activate it, and then it will prompt you and say, do you want to make this the org default, okay? You can assign it to different people based on what you have in there in your organization and the way your security levels are, and you can change that around. But this, to me, was just the first thing I needed to do, okay? Was just to change this around. Now, I'm going to tease you again. If I wanted to get my related list quick links, which I think is one of the best things ever, okay? I'm going to put that in there, and then I can drag this. I don't think I can make this expand. I can't drag this down, see, because it's 2-column, 3-column. But this is where I get my other pieces where I can put my mouse overs, and I can do this. Now, we're going to talk about that a little bit more as to how do we change this and what are the layouts. You know, you can set what happens, like, you know, do I see that component or not? You know, like, are they a customer, right? You know, there's some really nice custom things that we can do there, but not yet. I mean, like I said, we're at baby steps at this point. I know some of you are probably well into Lightning and doing this well, and you've been rocking it for a while. For me, I've been using Salesforce for a few years now, and I started with Classic, so I'm kicking and, you know, kicking and screaming. They're dragging me forward, but it will happen. So mess a little bit about this. Coming soon, I'm going to also mess with this component visibility a little bit more, maybe some layouts, maybe even changing this around. Okay, so that's it for now. I want you to, you know, start to get digging deep into Lightning and what you need to do there, but that would be it. So like I said, tips for December tips are up already on the website. Newsletters will be coming out within the next week or so if you get those. And then we will see you in January for the webinar to go over those 3 tips. All right? Enjoy the rest of your day. Wish you all the best. And thank you for attending. Have a good day.